But at the beginning, I believed so much in the stories in my mind. And it's slowly with my journey in dance, I was understanding that I can change the story. So I was able to notice during pandemic that I had social anxiety. And as many people, drink for me was a way of like release that social anxiety. Yeah. And I'm not saying that I don't like drink. I like drink, but I don't like to need the drink for nothing, you know. I want to be conscious about my choices, and drinking can be taking a pill to hide the pain for dancing more.
And something that I learned is that if I'm already not having a good night, drinking is not going to make it better.
Dance is not therapy indeed, but it's highly therapeutic. We cannot separate the person from the dancer, and working on the person is working on the dancer and vice versa.
I like to say for good and bad, who you are as a human being is the one that you're going to bring into your dance. Has no way to hide. Oh, dance make my life so hard. Actually, no, dance just was the tool to show me like, wow, that's part of my life. That's part of my journey. I face this not just in dance. Actually, I face this in my life. I would not be who I am if I was not dancing.
Has dancing changed your life in ways you never expected? Does dance reveal issues you thought you had hidden in your personal life? We are talking more than just technique here. We're talking confidence, vulnerability, and emotional health. Well, let's find out. Hello everyone, and welcome back to ZoukNerds. In this episode, we are tackling a vulnerable topic: self-care and mental health in the dance world. We'll discuss the intense pressures of the environment, the connection between our emotional state and our dance quality, and the strength it takes to pause even when you're expected to continue. And most importantly, we'll share how the challenges we face in dance, like perfectionism or shyness, are mirrored in our daily lives and how we learn to use movement to grow as people. So, let's go! Hello everyone, and welcome back. My name is Alisson Sanji, and I'm joined once again by our beautiful co-host, Gui Prada. Hello, Gui.
Hello, Alisson. Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
And if you are watching us in the video format, you can already see that we have a very special guest today, our beautiful queen, Paloma Alves. Hello, Paloma.
Oh, super happy to be here with you guys.
Yes, Paloma, welcome back. This is not your first time. I think last time that we were here, we were talking about music and we were talking about different things in the community. And today we're going to take a slight turn into our inside and our mind about dancing, where we're going to be talking about how dance has changed or improved our life in any way. Things that we didn't really expect to get from dancing, and a lot of people, I guess, don't expect to get from dancing, and how we see that nowadays that we've been doing this for such a long time. So let's start with Paloma as our guest today. How has dance influenced, changed, improved, or not your life?
Oh my gosh, in so many ways. How much time we have?
We have as much time as you would like.
Wow. Yeah, I for sure didn't start like that. But nowadays I can see how dance helped me to see things in the surface that was not related to dance, but actually related to my personal life. So let's start. I was very shy, introverted person. I'm still is, but less shy. Let's say like that. But at the beginning, I believed so much in the stories in my mind that I'm in a certain way. And it's slowly with my journey in dance, I was understanding that I can change the story. Or by improving dancing, I was improving the way I relate with people. Because we are not just learning to dance, but actually I believe that we are learning to interact with other person in such a vulnerable position, that is moving our body together with someone. And in this process of learning a language, because for me, it's learning dance, it's learning a language, how we want to communicate, how we want to feel comfortable, because comes with a lot of expectations, right? And I noticed through this how much I was perfectionist, how much I have fear to do mistakes, how much I have fear to not receive validation. And then I was like, oh, dance make my life so hard. Actually, no, dance just was the tool to show me like, wow, that's part of my life. That's part of my journey. I face this not just in dance. Actually, I face this in my life. But maybe sometimes because of the noises in life or because of the stories that we had in our minds, I wasn't able to change that. But because I want to grow in dance, I want to grow in my communication and be more connected with my partner, I was facing like, oh, I can bring what I'm learning in dance and bring into my daily life. And the way I improve in my daily life, I also bring to my dance. Like I have been dancing 17 years and I totally can say like, I would not be who I am if I was not dancing.
I think that is very relatable to a lot of people, including us here in this room. But I do have a follow-up question. Was there any moment where there was a shift on how dance was allowing you to see things in your life, or on how dance actually changed something in your life?
I can see two big shifts for sure. And I think one of them was more related to the way I teach, because I started teaching with a dance partner that was more extroverted. We was completely different, but somehow we complement each other. And then when I start to do my own classes and go in the journey to be more a solo worker, I was like, yeah, so let's see, you're gonna be believing that story that, oh, I'm too shy, it's very hard to talk in public and all of those things. Or I really honor what I choose. Like, yes, I choose to be a teacher. I really want to be a good tool. I want to be the best version of me. They're not just because of my ego, but because I believe that I need to honor someone that come into my class. So I was like, yeah, it's done. I cannot anymore, So I was like, how can I do? And then the first thing was actually to be vulnerable, to come into class and instead of trying to hide that I was nervous, that I was shaking, actually tell them like, hey guys, come on, get closer. I'm a little bit nervous right now, but I really want to have a good experience with you guys. So yes, in my personal life, people already say, oh, it's beautiful that you are vulnerable, or it is good to be vulnerable, but it was not clear yet. And then at some point, this insight download more clear, like, yeah, let's not pretend. Let's be real here. And by being real, I start to feel more comfortable with groups when I'm teaching alone. So I think that one big shift doesn't mean that this completely stops. Sometimes I still feel nervous. Sometimes I still shake. But I have the tool nowadays to say, yeah, I can enter in this experience in the way I am. I don't need to change. I can accept. I can be myself right now. I can be this part of me too. Because it has moments in class that totally disappear and I feel very comfortable. I feel close. I feel welcome in that space. And the other big shift that for me, I will try to be as clear as possible. One of the things about being shy is I notice that if I'm going to talk with a stranger, it was hard for me to keep the eye contact. And then I also noticed that I was reproduce this in my dance. And then was a combination of being very concentrated, don't miss a thing, trying to understand everything, trying to be perfect, all of those things. And especially during pandemic, when I had more silence, more time with myself to figure out all of those aspects, that I was compromising so much communication, connection with the partner because of this aspect, because I was looking too much to the floor, because I was too much in my head. And then I realized, even in my head, even if I have the best intention to be very connected with this person, I really wanted to compromise the connection in terms of like, hey, I'm here with you. We are in this, that together. And sometimes just maintain the eye contact, smiling, and like have this no talking communication can help so much to build up that story that we are creating together. And then I was training for real, like inside of dance, outside of life, being instead of like, hey, good morning, how are you? And like, hey, good morning, how are you? You know? And then it's beginning the dance, not like embracing the person and looking down, but actually like, yeah, let's be here, you know? I don't know if it was clear, but pretty much. And I received a lot of feedbacks, like after pandemic, when I started to dance with people that I danced before, they say like, wow, something changed on your energy, something changed on you. What happened? And I was like, oh my gosh, many things happened.
I don't think it's just something. I think it's a lot. It's a new person. It's a whole new person that was born. I think we can all agree on that. Actually, I'm going to correct myself on that. I don't think it's a new person that was born, but the person that was there was allowed to live in this world instead of kept on one side, on one box of the professional dancer, teacher, artist, or something like that, and being like, hey, I am human. So what?
So what? Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. And I remember you have been in this journey for self-growth for some time.
Yeah.
I remember we had a conversation once years ago in Rio.
You really?
I went to a friend's apartment and you asked your first questions about several aspects
Yes.
that she was curious about, stuff that I was already doing. And we danced bolero that day.
Boleros, bolero,
Some tango. And then we danced like an amalgamation of all these things. And since then, I think that was before pandemic. Of course, we had no idea pandemic was coming.
No.
But I think there was a seed of curiosity. There's something perhaps different that I'm not looking into. And then when pandemic hits, then it went deep.
Oh my God, so deep.
Went deep and had these changes. And we do events together now. And I thank God we collaborate for my luck. And when we do these events together, especially when we go to the retreats, the amount of conversations we have that are deep in human psyche and in behavior, in next steps in life, all these things coming out of the dance environment.
So much.
Which makes me think, what perhaps bring more in the growth area? The dance itself or the dance environment? The environment meaning the teachers, the settings, the events. Sometimes I get a little torn. Sometimes I think it's the dance itself, the aspect of movement, which I think plays a big, big, big role, ginormous role. There is the environment and the people it brings. So the dance attracts all these amazing people. And by conversing with them, exchanging with them, we feel so inspired by their stories, by why they are there, what brought them there, that invites us to reflect as well. So what do you think? The dance or the environment?
Oh my gosh.
Where would you play?
Say that we can have the whole trilogy or like many books, one for the aspect and another book for, because when you say the word environment, that's the thing. Because I believe we all, when we go inside of the environment, we can face few challenges, because again, we're coming back for something that I believe it's very human, being a human, that is, we want to be accepted. and the group and the community. And sometimes we can easily believe in some sorts that I need to behave in a certain way. I needed to dance in a certain way. I need to act. I needed to provide. I needed to. So many shoulds that come into my mind. And wow, this can be very, 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 very deep. Let's say at some point, when I say this, it's totally my perception of the reality, and I feel it keeps changing. I was traveling like for unstop for 12 years, 13 years, you know, and then every weekend be in a different place with different people. And it feels like the environment wants you to be in a high energy most of the time, happy, providing entertainment and all of those things. I start to realize that I was not facing truly my challenge about doing those things that I believe that I should. And actually I use a lot of escapes, you know, sometimes drink to be ready for party, to be like on my full energy. So I was able to notice during pandemic again that I had social anxiety. And as many people, drink for me was a way of like release that social anxiety.
Coping with it.
Yes. Like by studying more, by doing therapy, I was understanding that I was numb many times because of the amount of anxiety that I was facing, but I wasn't aware that it was anxiety. I just understand that it was, oh, I'm tired. Many things, you know, in my mind, but never like, hey, I need probably time alone. I probably need the rest. I wasn't aware of my needs. And I was just asking for more from my nervous system. Like, yeah, let's do more, one more party, one more thing. So when I like, hey, I don't want to drink that amount anymore. I don't want to force myself to be happy or available right away. I want to take my time when I arrive in an event. Probably I needed to go straight to my room, take a nap, I don't know, read a book, meditate, breathe in my own company. And then I go and I will go dance and then I go interact with people without forcing. I don't know if answers the question, but for sure was one of the huge aspects that I noticed being that environment for such a long time. And for me, this is very personal, for sure. Some people can do that without drinking, but I just realized that I was, because when I started dance, I wasn't drinking at all. And then at some point I was like, oh, I feel nice when I drink one glass of wine, and then I feel more extroverted. Things feels more easier. And then it's not about just easier. It's what is true. So I would say that that's my commitment nowadays, and it's very stronger. It's more clear to me that every time I go inside of the environment, can be for a class or do a demonstration or go to social dancing, I really want to be in my integrity.
So it's like being in a certain kind of environment brought you to do certain things, and then over the years, it invited you to look inside and say, why am I doing these things?
Yes.
And how can I still be in the environment differently?
Yes.
Yeah, which is interesting because when I asked the question, I didn't realize that at all. And then reminds us that we all use this tool, dance, and we all use this tool in different containers, in different kinds of environments, right? And the way that you experience dance and the circumstance of environment varies so much, because when I thought about the environment, I was meaning more, for example, the classes, the regular classes, the socials, the retreats, all of these environments, which bring all these people into our lives that we would not meet otherwise at all. The thing is that in the environments that you were in, back to back to back, 52 weekends a year, you might not have had the time to connect with people.
No.
Exactly. And that's the interesting thing, because when I asked the question in the first place, I was thinking of environments in a way that we connect with people in these environments. We get to talk to them, exchange with them. And that, for me, sometimes is what brings the growth a lot, is this exchange, is this conversation. So if you are experiencing the dance in a way that you are on a go, in a sense of work, like I have a function, I have like a thing to perform, it reduces the amount of time that you have to change with people in a meaningful way.
Let's say that's a very fine line. Because I had it all, you know. I had moments to connect, amazing conversations, amazing moments that I was feeling, an extreme of the happiness and like, anyways. But I noticed that we go to a congress and right away in my mind, I was like, I need to be available. I need to be entertaining. So I had those stories on my mind until I get it like, hey, how can I really present myself again in the way I am and how I am right now, you know? Or instead of right away arrive on the social and go dance, maybe I can talk with a student, maybe I can talk with a friend and regulate my nervous system in this environment that I just arrived. Imagine it taking the whole day. You just want to take shower, but no, I need to go to the social. I need and I want to go to the social, but I'm tired. So those shoots, but and then like many things happen. I think that was one of the aspects that I noticed by interacting with the environment, maybe with a story that was not completely true. But in the moment, that was the level of conscience that I had.
Exactly.
So I would say that dance helped me. This environment helped me to see that about me, you know. But what you say, the aspect is also true. Many in different environments gave me the opportunity to meet them a huge amount of different people. And I'm very grateful for that too, for sure.
Yeah, I find that dancing really helped me understand and accept how my brain works. And then dancing as the environment helped me understand, learn, make mistakes and learn again and get better with my emotions. So it's almost like the two things affected different parts of me. The dancing challenges my brain in a way that is like, oh my God, this is so freaking cool. And dance taught me that my brain is okay because I grew up being bullied and I grew up with lots of school issues and things like that because my brain works in such a different way to other people that after a few years of teaching and a lot of people giving me feedback, I started accepting the way my brain works as a positive instead of as a problem. And with my emotions, it was more of a journey of like when I became a teacher, I kind of like blocked because of the way I was raised. When dance became my professional, now this has to be separated from my personal life and my personal person. So that's how I put it. And then over like 10, 11 years, I did that and then I burned out. So then it taught me to go like, no, don't separate that. And to connect with what you're saying, I have another question for you, Paloma, because sometimes I see Facebook reminding me of things or Instagram reminding me of things. And I was so disconnected to my emotions, which that means it wasn't created as memory, that I don't remember myself being in certain photos or certain locations. So I wonder if that has ever happened to you where you see a photo and you're like, oh man, that's right. I went to that country or I went to that festival. Hang on, what year was it? Because for like 10, 11 years, I was outside of my body.
Yeah.
And now that I got back, I'm like, who is that person? Was I happy then? I don't even know.
Oh my gosh, for sure. And this remind me what Guy said, like the go-go,
Yeah.
you know?
You don't have the time to connect with people, the place, the location, the city, the air, the water, nothing.
Or,
It's an airport
Crazy.
and a hotel.
I mean, I would say that a part of us connect in this moment, but not fully us are there. I remember that I was teaching a student online And then he told me, hey, I met you this year. And he sent a video of the class. And I was like, I didn't remember nothing. The place, it felt like a completely different person. Like I even was watching me talking and I was like, it was such a weird feeling.
I have one that was, somebody said, oh, my name is Stan. I was your roommate in this festival. Oh. So the person slept next to me and I couldn't remember.
I think that's the extreme of a traveling dancer or maybe even a traveling artist of music, theater, of anything, that sometimes you're just on the go.
Yes.
It's kind of like your life is up in the air, in the clouds. You're never really landing anywhere. You're just kind of hovering every place that you don't fully integrate with any place unless you spend 2 or 3 weeks there. But if you're just going from week to week to week to week, you're kind of just flying by.
That's what we were talking about yesterday. The difference between pressing pause and pressing stop.
Yes.
You know, like we're going through life, pause, and our life, pause. And then we go to the event, perform, do the thing, go back home, play.
Yeah, no, like, I think this reminds me about the word presence, that I don't remember when this word becomes more alive. And then by having time to realize those things again, I feel very repetitive when I say during pandemic, because it was a huge shift for me for sure. This time of pandemic, I was not present with people, realizing that many times I was not present with people, not present with my body, not present in the space that I was, many places that I went, go from the airport to the hotel, to the hotel to the airport, not even thinking about like, hey, maybe I will spend one day more and then, you know, met people, like go around. Not those things doesn't come up to my mind in those moments. And then I was like bringing more presence to my personal life. That means also at my work, also helped me to bring more presence into my dance. For me, it was a very combined thing. I was starting thinking more about what it means to me be a present in one dance, not just movement wise, but like how I'm feeling my body, how I'm feeling my emotions, who I am right now, you know, and not just embrace someone, yes, let's dance in a go-go mode, or connecting a little bit with what I said before about the environment and the shoots that I need to be happy. What is really go to a social and not pretend to be happy, but actually like, yeah, I still want to dance. I feel tired, but I want to dance. I'm not super happy right now, but I want to dance with the state that I am, with the emotions that I have. Wow, this was a huge shift for sure.
When is it a time or a place that it's not okay to continue for you? So there was this moment where you were in Berzuki, USA, when we were in DC, and you had to take a pause, you had to take a moment. So I wonder if there's anything that you can share on how you can make that decision. Because I find that when we're trying to be present all the time and we're trying to be part of the community and embrace everything, to me, sometimes I find the challenge of thinking, am I being selfish? Am I being selfless? Am I avoiding being present? Am I not trying hard enough? That's kind of like what comes into my mind sometimes. So I would love to hear your point on this.
I love this question. Like nowadays I have tools, you know, to understand when I'm disassociating. So in that situation, I was dancing with a person and then I start to feel like I'm out of my body. So I was dancing and I almost like my body was in autopilot, you know, and I changed the way I breathe in, get shorted. My heart was beating a little bit more fast. And then, coincidence or not, someone was recording at the moment that I was dancing. So it was even worse, you know. because I was experiencing that. The person dancing with me was smiling, trying to bring me back or trying to react, but I was almost in a freezing mode, but my body keeps dancing. And then I end the dance and I was like, yeah, I'm here. I'm in this environment to dance with people. I want to dance with people, but I can't force myself right now. It will be very, let's say, very aggressive to my body, to my nervous system, and actually how I can give someone else something, even a dance, if I'm not taking care of myself first. And that was the moment that I went to the teacher's room and I found you. And I think I just want some anchor, and I say like, hey, I need a pause. I probably was kind of saying to myself, not because you were the organizer of the event, but like, let me breathe here. And then you gave me a hug and then I was like slowly doing my exercise of breathing. And then that nowadays, I'm so grateful that I have this mentality to like, yeah, if I really want to give something, that's my responsibility first to take care of my needs. And in that moment, I need this pause, this breathing before I don't have this mentality. I don't have this mindset. I will probably drink and like force to dance.
I was about to say that. That sounded like a perfect time to go and grab a drink.
Right?
In the old way of thinking, it's very much like, okay, I'm not feeling good. Let's drink more.
Yes. Yeah.
That was the Band-Aid.
And I'm not saying that I don't like drink. I like drink, but I don't like to need the drink for nothing, Like, I want to be conscious about my choices. And drinking can be taking a pill to hide the pain for dancing more. It can be so many other things, to escape. And I think it can affect your nervous system in ways that you don't imagine by forcing, you know what I mean? So even if you want to do more and to give more to the community, to be present, to dance with people, so take care more. Nourishing yourself more. That's my advice for myself and for others.
And something that I learned through the drinking is that if I'm already not having a good night, drinking is not going to make it better. And I'm going to be very vulnerable here. That's when I actually drink too much because I'm already not having a good night. And then I drink to get better, but it doesn't get better. So I drink more to get better. It doesn't get better. And then you get to a point that you get drunk and you just, it's not good. It's not good for me. It's not good for everyone who's there. It's a whole bad experience that gives me like 7 days of anxiety over the next 7 days. So there's moments that I'm already not feeling good. And I tell people now, people who I hang out with, who I drink with normally, I say, no, tonight I'm not drinking. Oh, but why not? I'm like, ooh, no. Tonight it's dangerous if I drink. It's not going to go down well because it's already going to start bad. So my advice for everybody out there who is currently using alcohol as a Band-Aid, be careful because it can actually create a much bigger wound that you started with.
For sure.
Yeah. I think the thing we talk a lot about Shunemehan because we both sort of dance was the catalyst. This was the thing that brought us to do all these other things, which I think is a big aspect of self-growth, sparking curiosity, and realizing that a lot that we did that brings us to grow spiritually as a person comes back to the body, comes back to movement, comes back to looking to your body, appreciating your movement, understanding subtleties and all of these things. And dancing ended up becoming almost like a mirror. It's a mirror that we look and you see the issues, you see the good things.
Yeah.
You see all these things and you were presented with a choice. Like, what are you going to do about it? Yeah. And I think with the drinking is the thing, I'm going to not look at it.
I don't want to look at it.
I don't want to look at it.
I don't want to look at it.
Behind, So I think the dance presents an opportunity for us to look into aspects of our lives that we would otherwise perhaps not realize or would realize, but perhaps not have the tool And I think it all happens because of the movements, because of moving our bodies, because of letting that energy flow in our bodies, you know. I remember a couple years ago, I think we all remember that people were really upset that people was using dance as therapy.
My God.
Dance is not therapy. Remember these things? You remember this thing? This is not therapy. You know, go to your therapist for therapy.
God.
And I remember my therapist that I met dancing. I met my therapist at Jamaroshi Studio. I was a bolsista. She was a student. And when I learned that she was a therapist, I was like, can you please help me? And then she said something, dance is not therapy indeed, but it's highly therapeutic. So she says that I'm a therapist that's going to dance because of its therapeutical powers. You know?
Amen.
Amen. Because again, it comes down to movement and connection. So two of the most important needs of a human being, connect with people physically and move their bodies, you know? So I think in doing these things, we realize there are things that are making this experience harder. There are things that are making this experience easier. So I think the self-growth comes, one of the ways that the self-growth comes is when we look at those things that make it harder and make a decision to make it better.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know. I would say that, let's say, you want to be blind and keep repeating the patterns, or you want to awake.
Exactly.
And so I think the challenge is really when you decided like, okay, let me face this.
Yeah. Because what we face sometimes is like stubbornness or this very powerful force of feeling sorry for yourself. Something that my therapist also says, she says, Guilherme, the most powerful force in the universe is feeling sorry for yourself. It is so powerful.
So powerful.
And this thing of snapping out of it, it requires such a strength sometimes that I think dance and movement can be a way out of it. Could be not a way out of it completely, but it's a path out of the downwards pull that creates that we just want to be in bed in the couch, you know, wrapped. You're like, oh, no, nobody likes me, you know.
Laughing with respect.
Yes, yeah. But that's, I think, one of the powerful things that dance brings and the environment brings in the sense of the people we meet that are able to help us. Like we did this exercise in class to ask people to share with each other what is it that they celebrate that dance brought to them.
I love this one.
Super beautiful exercise, people. The answers that you hear are so inspiring. And I did that in class 2 days ago. And I got the most beautiful message from one of the students. He thanked for the exercise. I'm getting goosebumps to remember because he was going through a tough time in his life. And it was first time in a long time that he felt people were seeing them. They were seeing him, you know, like, oh, I'm being seen right now. And that for him was highly liberating. So us as facilitators, we have absolutely no idea what's going on in the lives of each person that is there. But we do have this ability to bring some light in form of movement or in form of a conversation.
We can. But I think for you have the sensitivity to bring this into your class, it's because you did a lot of work.
Yes.
And I think this is one of the things that also helped me to grow. And I believe we all, that is, when I say we, it's too big, but like I would say we right now.
Yeah.
Okay? That's very hard to say, but it's like, yeah, I don't want to go to a group of people and just throw things on them without seeing them, you know, or without understanding that I want to help them to look at themselves in a more kind way and not like, oh, I'm not able to do that, and comparing themselves and suffering, you know, because I know that they are not suffering because of the dance, but the way they are relating, the way they are capable in this moment to relate with the dance, with the challenge that the dance can present, you know.
I think the growth for us teachers is accepting that it's okay to do something like this. It's fine that we stop a little bit to talk about movement, to talk about a pattern, to talk about viradinha lateral. And let's talk about the human being right here because, and like we know too, we cannot separate the person from the dancer. We cannot separate the person from the dancer. And working on the person is working on the dancer and vice versa. So it's actually not a separation. It's the same thing. It's a unity. It's not a duality. It's a unity.
It's no separation. I like to say for good and bad, sorry to interrupt, but it's like who you are as a human being is the one that you're going to bring into your dance. Has no way to hide.
So yeah, it's pretty much that. So I think us as facilitators in this aspect of self-growth, understanding that they are the same thing, so important for us, and allowing ourselves to give space for that, and maybe facing sometimes some people saying, why are we doing this again? Why? How is that helping me with my dance? And then we say, like our parents and our grandparents used to say, one day you understand. There you see.
One thing that I notice is, especially in private classes, when someone come in a state that they are like facing a challenge with their dance, it's normally correlated of something they are already facing a challenge in their personal life. So the pressure, the comparison that already exists there is just reflecting in their dance journey, you know. And then I will be there fixing a movement, you know, and not give any space to like, hey, how are you feeling? How are you? You know?
Oh, I got one last example to go about this, which I think is very clear. Some time ago, a friend, which I know his dance, he was dancing and I was looking at his dance and then I was like, what is happening? It was more rough, you know, and the followers are like, I don't know what's happening to him. Something's off. And just observing his dance. And then I go to his house and his house was a mess. It was a mess. There was a lot of mail on the table, a lot of bills due, all these things. And I was there with other friends and he went to work. And I said, let's put this house together. And then we started cleaning his house, cleaning the house, organizing the things, organizing the kitchen, blah, blah. When he came back, he just entered the house and started crying right away. Yeah, because he didn't realize the mess that it was. And the mess of life was like affecting how he was going about his house. And it was affecting his dance as well. So it was like, that was the time that I saw very clearly how connected everything was. Up to that point, I didn't actually realize it. I was just going and understanding and noticing these things. But that point was a turning point to me when I saw how much everything is connected. And there is not a duality, but everything is a unity.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, that's something that we talk here a lot on our conversations on how sometimes we're working with a student to become more confident or to show more of this or that, but it's very hard to just do that technically, because that's what they sometimes ask, oh, what technique, what should I train to be more confident in my dancing? And then we're like, well, have a sit.
It's a combination of things. It's just a recipe.
Look, your technique is actually going to be improved when you improve your personal side, because you already have it. Or whatever you want to mention about dance, your connection, your musicality, or anything. For me, my experience, and I believe for you guys as well, was that either dance made me work on my personal side or my personal side reflected on my dancing. And it's always that loop.
Yeah.
Always that loop. And I completely agree. I can talk for myself that this conversation has been so enlightening, and multiple times I'm just like realizing so many things that I wanted to say, but I'm like, no, this is not a therapy session for myself, because I just want to finish things. And I'm like, no, wait. This is not your therapy session, Alisson. Just keep it in, because yes, so enlightening. So thank you, Paloma. Thank you, Gui, for opening this space. to share and to be open and to be human. And hopefully for everybody listening or watching, you felt that you were in the room with us and that connection with this, because honestly, we are teachers, but we're humans first. You know, like you may see the demos and the Instagram and everything like that, but if you've been here with us for a while, or if you've seen and talked to Paloma as she travels around the world, you know that there's no separation here. As much as we try, sometimes as teachers, we're there, we're big personalities, but the human is always here and always open to share and to feel. So thank you once again, Paloma, for being here.
I love it so much, guys. Thank you.
See, wake up early.
Yeah.
We are a little grumpy in the beginning, but then she wants to continue for another 2 hours.
Well, we will continue, but that's on another day and a little surprise for you guys. And thank you once again, Gui, for being here and also for organizing this time and carrying Paloma to the house and going like, nope, you're going to do this at 7 o'clock in the morning. Let's go.
Early. Put that makeup on.
So thank you once again. And see you guys on the next episode when Paloma and Gui and the whole gang will be back. So beijos, abraços, and ciao!